So good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, or good evening. Talent Finders would like to welcome entrepreneur and CEO of Key to Life Incorporate, makers of super copies, Jim. Is it deceased? How do I pronounce your surname? Sorry,
That's all right. It's DeCicco.
DeCicco. Thanks. So welcome, Jim. So firstly, I'd like to congratulate you on all your achievements. Can you please share with us more about how your entrepreneurial journey started?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here and talk to you today. So, for us, we started Super Coffee 5 years ago. In 2016 was our first full year in business. It was me and my two younger brothers. We still run the company today, but we were all college athletes here at university in the U.S. We all went to different schools. We played American football and basketball, and our youngest brother Jordan was tired. He had early morning practice, he had late nights in the library, and he was falling asleep in class. And he did not want to drink the regular bottled coffees or energy drinks that his school store offered because they were loaded with sugar and
Yes.
unhealthy calories. So what he did was he brewed his own coffee for himself, and it was zero sugar. He added protein to it. He added healthy fats from coconut oil, and it worked so well for him and his teammates and his classmates that he decided to call his two older brothers, me and Jake, and said, "Hey guys, I'm dropping out of school to start this coffee company." And
Wow.
yeah, so I mean, our parents weren't entrepreneurs. I had never heard the term startup before, so we were really green and young, and I think that played to our advantage
Yes,
when we
of
first
course.
started. Right.
Amazing. So obviously, you've mentioned two younger brothers, and then you launched Super Coffee back in 2016. So can you share with the audience how this came about and why the coffee business? I mean, you have enlightened us a bit in the beginning of, the introduction, but um, yeah, I don't know if you can elaborate on that.
Yeah, totally. So the bottled coffee business was something we needed convenience. You know, we didn't have, as student athletes, we didn't have time before workouts or practice in the morning to brew a pot of coffee. So we wanted something to grab and go, and we looked at the U.S. bottled coffee industry. It was about $2 billion US a year, and the
Wow.
Starbucks Frappuccino did $1.8 billion of that. So it was a big market controlled by one big player. And the exciting thing is globally, bottled coffee is much bigger in other markets. Like the
Yes.
Asian market is massive for bottled coffee. So we saw an opportunity. You know, we saw a chance to disrupt a market that was built on indulgence and flavor, really focused on sugary ingredients, stuff that tasted good, rather than functionality and health. So
Yes.
our products taste like the Starbucks Frappuccino without any of the sugar or unnecessary calories.
Yeah, absolutely. So the coffee industry is highly competitive. So what would you say makes you and your brand unique from your competitors, and what would you say you have done differently to fill the gap in the coffee industry?
Yeah, so from a product perspective, we are unique enough in the sense that we're one of the few bottled coffees that tastes sweet and creamy, but
Yes.
doesn't use any milk or sugar. So
Wow.
we're able to sweeten our products with a all natural sweetener called monk fruit. Comes from a plant in Southeast Asia. The sweetness comes from an antioxidant rather than a carbohydrate or sugar.
Yes.
And then we use a lactose-free protein in all of our products. We now have some plant-based protein products as well. So the product is unique enough, but I would say what makes us different and the reason for our success is our team, the people that we work with, have really become our barrier to entry. And with that, what I mean by that is we have 85 full-time employees, and our mission, our goal is to mass produce positive energy. They don't
Yes.
feel like they're selling coffee. They don't feel like they're trying to make a paycheck. We all feel together that we're making an impact on our customers by removing sugar from their diets. So our team is highly motivated, highly driven, and really relentless when it comes to building our brand in stores.
Amazing. So, what would you say some of your biggest lessons and learnings have been within your entrepreneurial journey?
Yeah, there's been a lot of them. I think that the most general sort of guidelines that we live by are work hard and be nice to people. And
Yes.
I think no matter what industry you're in, if you do those two things, you'll be in a good place in terms of how you treat others, the effort that you put in. And if at the end of every day you can say, I worked hard and I was nice, I was compassionate today, that to us, that is fulfillment. That's living your purpose. And that drives the business in the right direction. And then I would say the other piece is take action. I think all too often I see entrepreneurs that are sort of paralyzed by this analysis of what's the market opportunity look like, what's my business plan look like, I'm never going to be ready to launch. So I think for us, like we were, our product didn't taste good, the label was ugly, but we launched anyway, and we were
Yes.
determined to get that feedback and evolve and improve. So yeah, that's I would say those two things. And then the other thing is make yourself vulnerable.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. Always be curious. And then finally, with that vulnerability becomes sort of this, I guess you build up a level of trust and transparency, right? You
Yes.
don't pretend to have all the answers. And that allows you to grow. I think you can only grow when you're placed in uncomfortable and challenging situations. And that comes by making yourself vulnerable.
Yeah, absolutely. So Keto Life is based out of New York, and your business is scaled and pivoted fast, and now you, as you mentioned before, have 85 employees, which is amazing. So how were you able to scale so fast?
Yeah, so we are building our dreams with other people's money. We've raised a lot of venture capital over the last 5 years. We just closed our Series B last week, actually. So that was a $25 million round, US dollars. And
Gee, wow, that's amazing.
yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you. I always say don't judge a business by how much money it's raised, but judge it by what it's able to do with that money. So I think
Absolutely.
these next few months and really, so this money should get us 2 years worth of runway and allow us to achieve cash flow break even and EBITDA positive, so a bit of profitability towards the end of 2021. So that's really how we've been able to grow so quickly, is take investment capital. In the early days we raised $100,000 from friends and family. We turned it into $300,000 worth of sales, and it was really focused sales, so sales in a small geography. So we were able to prove that we had a loyal audience. Customers wanted this stuff. It was different enough from other items that existed. And then we scaled that each time. So then we went out and we raised 500,000, and we turned it into $1.5 million in sales. And we went out and we raised 10 million. So along the way, I think by taking that investment capital and aggressively growing sales, pretty tactically though, in tight geographies, was our success to scale it.
Amazing. So I want to talk about leadership, or the lack of leadership. So what would you say makes your leadership style different? And what do you believe as entrepreneurs we all have to do to change and improve the current narrative in both business and on a global scale?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I feel like a lot of leadership right now is very political and divisive. Um,
Very.
for us, it starts with honesty and transparency, getting back to making yourself vulnerable. Like
Yes.
we admit that we don't have all of the answers. We
Yeah.
certainly don't. How could we? This is our first time doing anything like this. So we surround ourselves with good coaches. I think our background as athletes makes us very coachable, and we'll
Yes.
reach out to different advisors who almost all of the time, people are willing to help us and give advice. They want to see us win. And so that's been helpful. But leading from the front lines, like I'll never ask our team to do anything that me and my brothers won't do. So
Yes.
we're very proud to say that we did not have to furlough any employees. We did not lay off any employees throughout the COVID pandemic. Yet that said, we asked them, we work in the grocery industry, which is a protected industry. People didn't feel safe doing their jobs during that time, and rightfully so. So my brothers and I, we put on a mask, and we hit 10 grocery stores a day in every region of the country, from the Northeast to Florida to California and Texas, really supporting our team and doing the job with them to show that, hey, we can do this safely, and we need to do this safely, because if every brand sort of takes off right now, who's going to stock the shelves? So,
Exactly.
right. So for us, I think leading from the front lines, not being afraid to ask questions or admit when we're wrong, really it comes down to honesty. I think a lot of leaders posture that they have all the answers, and they want to sort of create a persona for themselves of, hey, I'm powerful, follow me. But you can't, for us, it's like that level of transparency that we've created with our employees just allows them to trust us even more.
Yes, of course. So what have some of your biggest career highlights been so far?
Yeah, I think we've had some pretty cool experiences over the last 5 years. We got to pitch on ABC's Shark Tank show in front of Mark Cuban and the Sharks. That was
Amazing.
awesome.
So how was that for you?
It was cool. We didn't do a deal with any of the Sharks, but leading up to the episode, we really prepared a lot, and that got us to understand our business inside and out, and that helped us raise money from private investors outside of the show.
Yes.
But the experience was cool. We were in front of the Sharks for over an hour, and then what they do is they trim it down to 10 or 15 minutes is what we all see on TV. But it was certainly an unforgettable experience, and it's been good for business. Even though we didn't do a deal, our investors appreciate it. Our retail partners appreciate it. So it's been a bit validating. My brothers and I made the Forbes 30 under 30 list in 2019. That was a cool honor.
Oh, amazing. Well done.
Thank you. And then I think this year, what I'm most proud of is Inc. magazine recognized us as one of the top 300 workplaces to work from a culture perspective.
Wow.
And I would say that's our highest honor, because I do say that our team is our barrier to entry, and for us to sort of foster a community where people want to work, people want to help each other, and people want to push each other to achieve new heights and new limits. That's our most powerful accomplishment so far.
Amazing. So the world has obviously been shaken upside down and inside out due to COVID-19, and other global challenges. So how and what have you done to adapt in these times and still manage to maintain your business? And can you give us some examples?
Yeah. So like I said, our philosophy has always been work hard and be nice to people. And
Yes.
I think in times of challenge and tribulation, whether it's social unrest or racial injustice or a global pandemic, we really have to lean into our values. And
Yes.
for us, that's staying true to who we are as individuals. Our parents raised us to put others before ourselves in almost a servant leadership type fashion. So
Yes.
the narrative that we've emphasized with our team is help wherever we can. So our team is in stores, and especially when the pandemic was just starting to get a little crazy in mid-March, early April.
Yes.
In the U.S., I'm not sure how it was in the U.K., but in the U.S., like stores were sold out of toilet paper and water.
Oh yeah,
and
no,
soup.
everybody went nuts.
Right. So I told our team, I was like, while we're out here doing our jobs, it's not just about selling super coffee. Let's help our distributors stock the shelves with sparkling water and water. If a store manager is busy packing out the produce section, help him. Like these are people who need help right now. We have the ability to help others right now. And with that, I mean, it's good for our business too, because it's long-term relationship building. A lot of brands aren't in stores right now. And for us to be building those relationships in times of crisis and times of need, we believe that in the future, those relationships will be forged and ever stronger because of it.
Absolutely. So your company has raised 50 million to date, which is massively impressive. Can you share with us what the raising of investment was like for you, and what do you believe you did differently to achieve this?
Yeah, it's a tricky time to be raising money for anybody right now, just given such economic uncertainty on a global scale.
Yes.
And for us, I think we can only control what we can control, and that's our culture, that's our team's attitude, that's how we show up to work every single day in terms of doing our jobs, doing them at a high level. And you can't be, for any entrepreneur, you can't be everything to everyone. So
No.
for us, we clearly defined ourselves as a bottled coffee, and we focused for the first 4 years, we focused on the Northeast part of the United States, basically from Washington, D.C. to Boston. And we got really good in that territory. And we said no to California. We said no to Texas. And within that territory, we became the best-selling bottled coffee. And it was mainly due to our team's effort of pouring samples, building displays, educating customers. And with that very strong story, even though it's specific to us, specific to Super Coffee, we were able to impress a lot of investors, right? And I think the thing for us is like not under promise, over deliver. But just do what you say you're going to do, because a lot of brands, they do make big promises that they often can't keep. And
exactly.
so for us,
and then they also scale too fast, and then they get out of their debt. So
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And I mean, it's certainly a battle that we deal with, right? Because we're not a profitable business yet. So it's like we want to scale very quickly, but not at the expense of running through cash too fast. So
yes.
I think right now scaling quickly is still takes precedent over becoming profitable.
Yes.
I would say we can run a profitable operation if we terminated half of our team and we cut our projections in half, but nobody's interested. Not even our investors are interested in doing something so slowly. So yeah, I think by delivering again and again over the last 5 years, we've built up a good track record of doing what we said we were going to do with the investment capital that we raised. So our investors do have faith in us. I think that times have been mostly good over the last 5 years for our business. So people haven't been too critical and haven't lost trust or faith or anything like that. And really these last 6 months have been the most trying times for us as young leaders, really, for everyone.
Yes, of course. So, raising money as a startup is very difficult in such a competitive industry. So, what is some of the advice you would give to others looking to raise money for startup? And what are the key pieces of advice that you would give to others that are looking to do the same?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I would say no two businesses are the same, especially nowadays. So
No,
meaning like what works for one company may not work for another, and there's like a playbook from 2015 no longer works today because the world is changing so fast. So
yes.
I say raising money now, I would clearly differentiate why the world needs your product. Like the two questions that you have to answer are, why will you succeed at first? Why does the world need what you're offering? And then why will you succeed once others copy you? And that's the hard question that a lot of people can't answer, because people always ask us, they're like, oh, what's stopping Starbucks from launching the same thing? The answer is nothing. Starbucks can do whatever they want. They could launch a super coffee tomorrow. They couldn't call it super coffee because we own the trademark, but now my answer to that question is our team has become our barrier to entry, and Starbucks does not have the same vision or mission or purpose that drives our team every single day. And when you motivate a set of people to believe in something bigger than themselves, it's really a powerful thing. So the other piece there is that investors, they bet on the jockeys. I'm sure you've heard that before.
Yes.
They bet right. They bet on the people behind the business more so than on the product or the branding or the services.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's amazing. So what is your vision for the company long term and short term? Like, what is your ultimate vision for the company?
Yeah, so short term, we just announced last week that we're the exclusive coffee partner of Anheuser-Busch. So Anheuser-Busch is now our U.S. distributor partner.
Oh, amazing. Well done.
Thank you. And the exciting thing, so short term, we have a lot of work to do here in the States, building out distribution with them and getting our product on more shelves in the convenience store channel and gas stations, certainly more grocery stores as well. But the nice thing about Anheuser-Busch, getting to the long-term answer, is they do have a global footprint just about on every continent. So for us, we would like to build an international brand after we can reach a certain scale here in the U.S. So I would say over the next 5 years, over the next year is continuing to build out the U.S. and then over the next 5 years is building an international presence on every continent.
Yeah, that's amazing. So the last question is, what are the 3 key pieces of advice you would give to other entrepreneurs, and what legacy would you like to leave?
The 3 key pieces of advice, and sorry, the second question was what legacy?
And what legacy would you like to leave?
Yeah. So I think the question that all entrepreneurs have to ask themselves every single day is, how can you help others?
Yes.
So I think that's a question that will be relevant. It's been relevant for thousands of years and will continue to be relevant for thousands of years. So what can you do? What can your business do to help others? I think start with a place of purpose and passion, rather than saying, what can I do to make $1 billion? Right? What company can I start to? And a lot of people get sort of bored with their corporate jobs and they start brainstorming their startup ideas. If there isn't a bigger purpose or passion behind the startup, it's very easy to lose sight, because what we do is hard. It's very difficult to create something from nothing.
And it's not glamorous.
No, it's not glamorous. I mean, people see the Shark Tank, they see the Forbes under 30, but they don't see the 4 a.m. wake ups, the sleepless weekends, the hours and the sweat and the struggle that goes into it. And the only thing that keeps us going is a greater purpose to help others and provide value to people. And for us, I think the legacy that we want to leave is that those three brothers who started Super Coffee, they changed the way that people consumed energy simply by working hard and being nice to people. I want to inspire a generation. I want to inspire others to pursue what they want to do and show them that it's possible against all odds. We're not supposed to be doing what we're doing. This is really difficult. But if we can do it, so can everybody else.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. So if people want to connect with you, what is the best platforms for them to do so?
Yeah, totally. So we're on Instagram at Drink Super Coffee. I'm personally on LinkedIn at Jim DeCicco. I'm on Instagram as well, but a combination of LinkedIn and Instagram would be awesome. But please connect, reach out. Would love to chat to you about your ideas and see if we can be helpful.
Thank you so much, and hopefully we can have you back in the future.
That would be awesome. Check in on progress.
Thank you.
Thanks, Karen. Have a great Sunday.
You too. Bye.